The diary revealed the truth. Cornelius Ashford had bound an ancient evil, a demon pure in malice, never appeased by human fear. Sacrifices weren't enough. The demon only craved destruction. Margaret's discovery of the insurance documents confirmed it. The house had burned twice before, yet the evil survived, spreading through Ashford blood. It could not be destroyed, only resisted. The seventh night. The house became a labyrinth of terror. Shadows were solid, forming claws, tendrils, and monstrous shapes. Every step was met with walls twisting into spikes, ceilings dropping, floors buckling into endless pits. Emma and Thomas fought for their lives as David and Margaret searched for a way to the basement, the demon's core. Every reflection, every mirror, became a screaming visage, mocking them. The demon erupted from the basement in a storm of darkness, a towering black mass with burning red eyes. Its voice, a chorus of all the past victims, commanded, "Sacrifice or die. Your blood is mine." David realized resistance was the only option. The diary's final pages contained the instructions: reverse the ritual, trap the demon in its own shadowed form, and refuse the choice. Emma, wielding a shard of broken mirror, pierced a shadow limb, reaching for her throat. Thomas improvised a chain of furniture to slow the collapsing walls, narrowly saving Margaret. David recited the backward incantation, forcing the demon to consume its own extensions. The house retaliated. Walls slammed, floors cracked, ceilings fell. Blood mixed with debris. Shadows grasped at the family, clawing at flesh, twisting reality. David realized the demon could sense hesitation. He grabbed Margaret and forced her to stand with him, forming a circle of resistance. They drew upon their fear, anger, and love, focusing it through the diary's instructions. The demon screamed, a sound that shredded sanity. Emma fainted from psychic backlash. Thomas collapsed from exhaustion. David took her in his arms, shielding her as Margaret finished the final verse. The demon writhed violently. It exploded into thousands of shadow fragments, each a tortured soul. David plunged into the center, allowing the shadows to consume him momentarily, while Margaret sealed the ritual. The house collapsed inward, folding into itself, devouring its architecture in seconds. A deafening silence followed.
3 months later, Detective Victoria Pierce stood in the doorway of a house in Savannah, Georgia, her jaw clenched as the morning light filtered through shattered windows. The mansion on Forsyth Park, hidden behind towering oaks draped in Spanish moss, had always been an eyesore to the historic district. The house that locals had whispered about for generations was no longer a structural mystery. It was a crime scene. 2 children, stabbed repeatedly. Their hearts removed with precision. The mother lay in the master bedroom, her throat slashed so deeply the blade had nearly severed her head. The wound was old, dried blood crusted across pale skin, suggesting death had come days before discovery. But here was the problem that made Victoria's blood run cold. There was no body of the father. "Detective?" Officer Martinez appeared at her elbow, his face ashen. "We found something in the basement." Victoria descended the crumbling stone stairs, her flashlight carving through absolute darkness. The basement walls were covered in something. Not mold, not water damage. Symbols, hundreds of them, carved into the plaster in what appeared to be dried blood. Some were fresh, most were ancient. At the center of the room lay a leather-bound diary, open to a final page. The handwriting was frantic, almost illegible. "It's not dead. We only trapped it. The circle holds, but it will soon be free. It will find another vessel, another family, and when it does, the cycle begins again. God forgive us. God forgive David." The signature was David Ashford's, dated 3 months prior. "Detective, there's more," Martinez said quietly, directing his light to a corner of the basement. 4 bodies hung from rusted chains, perfectly preserved corpses in various states of decay. One wore clothes from the 1950s, another from the 1920s. A third, Victorian-era garments now brittle and falling apart. The 4th body was fresh. A man. His wrists bore deep, self-inflicted cuts. An empty bottle of pills lay beneath his dangling fingers. David Ashford. Victoria's throat tightened. The children's bodies bore the same ritualistic precision as the bodies in the basement. Repeated stab wounds, hearts removed. But the wife, Margaret, had been killed differently. Execution style. A message. "Check missing persons reports for the city," Victoria instructed. Specifically, families with children reported missing in the last 3 months. start with the historic district and surrounding areas. As her officers dispersed, Victoria returned to the main floor and found herself in the living room. Photographs hung on the walls, portraits of the Ashford family. Each picture showed the same haunting pattern, a family smiling at the camera, with one face always blurred or obscured, as if the camera itself refused to capture them. In the most recent family photo, the father's face was completely black. Not blurred, but deliberately blackened, as if someone had burned away his image. Victoria's phone buzzed, unknown number. She almost didn't answer. When she did, all she heard was breathing, labored, wet, inhuman, followed by a whisper that seemed to come from everywhere at once. The line went dead.